we're going to look at resources, reserves, and production, and also a little bit of exploration to begin with. So, what is iron ore? What makes it valuable? How do you find it? What's the difference between reserves and resources? How's it mined? Where's it mined? How do we estimate ore reserves? And what makes it valuable are the sort of things we're going to talk about. So, iron ore can occur in many different places. The two pictures you see on the screen there are mining iron beach sands. So this is detrital iron that's washed up on the shore. Lots of those iron ore deposits mined quite dramatically. They're mainly magnetite. You get intrusions that concentrate iron in skarns, and so they're mined by open pit or sometimes underground. You get the banded iron formations, the major iron deposits in the Pilbara, in Australia and India, in South Africa, where you get, and we'll look at some pictures of those in a minute, where you get hematite and silica banding together. From those, you get a lot of erosion, and you can get channel iron deposits. That's iron that's been eroded and filled up old riverbeds, and quite large deposits in the Pilbara. And detrital, that's material that's weathered off the hill and sitting in a scree slope, a slope of broken material down from the original iron ore that can be just scraped up, sometimes just scraped up, sometimes a little more difficult. So they're the three main types. So the settings can be complicated. Everybody thinks a bulk commodity, simple to find and mine, but it's not always that simple. The grades of the various components can vary quite markedly. We look at magnetite, 72% iron, black or silvery, can contain titanium, vanadium. Hematite, 70% iron, a lower concentrate of iron, it's reddish. There's lots of other forms of hematite. Goethite, more oxidised, vitreous or brown, looks a bit like limonite. Limonite, 30 to 40% yellow-brown, a lot of water associated with the limonite. So we move on. This is a couple of pictures of BIF. You can see the dark bands are the hematite and the light bands are the silica. So they're laid down. We haven't got an hour and a half to discuss the genesis of this, but there's several views as to how this happens. But these are particular time frame in ancient geological history where there was an excess of iron and this material was laid down in large amounts in most of the continents. So the ability to mine and transport iron ore to market, and Ed will talk a little bit more about this afterwards, is what makes a deposit really valuable. There's no point having a hill of iron ore sitting in the middle of Australia if you're 400 kilometres from the nearest railway line, because you can't afford to build the railway line. So location and access to infrastructure is important. Iron ore is mainly mined by open pit methods. There are underground mines. There were underground mines in the States. I'm not sure if there's still any there, but there's underground mines in Sweden. But fundamentally, almost all the iron ore comes from open pit production. Iron ore is visually different from the surrounding material. So it's once you've located it and determined where it is, it's relatively easy to control the mining operation. I'm starting to talk about your stuff. So the value and use to the customer, and we heard a lot about that from Paul, will determine the price that will be paid for the ore, and hence will determine whether your deposit's valuable or not. So there's a picture there of some iron ore in a pit. This is not an active pit, I don't think, by the look of the vegetation, but the pit that you can see, so it's that's been mined by open pit methods.